Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We're going to do the long-awaited Origins wrap video, as long-awaited as in like a week. This is longer than I thought it was going to take me to do it. But let's talk about what happened at Origins. So I was in attendance at the convention for all 5 days. For those who don't know and haven't watched the previous video, the Origins convention, the Origins Game Fair, is held every June in Columbus, Ohio, at the Greater Columbus Convention Center, which has several attached hotels. For those considering going to Origins, I did like an Origins preview video about 2 weeks ago now, so check that out if you're thinking about going to Origins 2018, the dates for which are on the website. So what did I play? I played a number of really interesting things, most of the pictures of which are on my Twitter feed, and if you follow me on Google+, they are on there as well. We did some really interesting things. I got to try GMT's Time of Crisis with Grogheads. Really enjoyed that. I got to try Hollenspiel's Supply Lines of the American Revolution, the Southern Strategy, which is the new one, which was a very interesting game. So I recommend checking that out. It almost struck me, as somebody that's playing OCS at the moment, as like an ultra abstracted version of the OCS idea. Not the mechanics, obviously. The mechanics are very different, but it's the same basic idea where logistics and supply is at the core of the game, and I really liked it. I felt like it took longer to play than I expected it to. I feel like that game's probably going to take 2 to 2.5 hours, and that was against my expectation. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Far be it from me to complain about a game that lasts 2 hours. So I also did some RPG stuff, primarily with the Games on Demand folks. That's indie RPG stuff. I played Blades in the Dark, I played Infinite Galaxies, and I played a game in development called Xenolanguage. That is from, I can't remember the publisher, but it's still in development, and it's basically, if you've seen the movie Arrival, it is basically Arrival, the role-playing game. I really enjoyed that. I'm going to talk about some stuff that I picked up at Origins now. Now, some of you have probably seen the unboxing videos. We've got that stuff here. There's unboxing videos for all these. No, not all these. There's unboxing videos for these four, not for the Pacific War. So let's take a quick look at this. This is from Lock and Load Publishing. This is one of the 2 war games that I picked up at Origins that I couldn't really bring myself to wait to do an unboxing video for. So this looks really interesting. It is a Japanese design. It's already punched and ready to go, and the counters are pre-rounded, so there's no fussing about with the counter clipper or anything like that. It's a very attractive game. It is somewhat card-driven, although the deck is very small. And it's got a very thick stock, full-color rulebook. Quite nice. A Japanese design, and looks pretty interesting. It is much more similar to Victory in the Pacific than it is, say, Empire of the Sun or Victory Games Pacific War. And we have a mounted map, not mounted, but it's on like super duper heavy stuff. On the subject of like semi-mounted maps or cardstock maps, I don't find that to be appealing because it's not mounted, so I need to put it under plexi anyway, so it doesn't really matter what stock it's on. As long as the stock wears okay at the folds, I'm okay with it. But it's pretty abstract. It looks like it'll play in a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours maybe. I haven't tried it yet, obviously. But this is actually my first thing from Lock and Load Publishing. And I'm looking forward to digging into this. Like I said, it looks like it plays pretty quickly. So the Pacific War, from Pearl Harbor to the Philippines, looks neat. I can't wait to crack into that. Another thing, and this is actually the one that I can't wait for this, I gotta open this right now, is this thing. Austerlitz 1805 Rising Eagles from Hexasim. Hexasim games are not incredibly difficult or impossible to get in the States, but you don't see them in every corner game store either. This is part of the Eagles of France series, and this is the first thing I have ever owned from Hexasim. These are also pre-rounded counters, and once again, a week after Origins, we are punched and organized. Probably want to reorganize this. I bought some counter trays too, half of which are already used. But this game is really highly regarded. There is video of it on YouTube already, so take a look around for that. You can download the Eagles of France series rules from the Hexasim website. And FYI, Hexasim is a French company. All the games that I have looked at from them have both a French version and an English version. So obviously, my French being incredibly rusty, we have gone with the English version here. Rules are, this is a 24-page glossy rule book, full color. It's nice. Not a super duper simple game, but this is of course the Battle of Austerlitz, incidentally, in 1805. We have here, what do they call this? They don't call it anything, but this is the playbook, basically. This is the book with the scenarios in it, and there's some discussion of the cards, the individual cards. There are cards in this. I think it's more like a card-enhanced game. Not totally dissimilarly from OSG's recent Library Napoleonics Battles titles. We've got some player aids on nice thick stock. We've got a stack of these. There's 2 maps in this game, and I'm going to point you at Gilbert Collins' channel, who has done a couple of videos on this now, including some playthrough rules analysis type stuff. He's doing a better job than I'm able to do in the context of what I'm doing here. But it is a gorgeous game. It looks really neat. We also get these conference maps. These maps are there is an orders system in this game, not particularly like you would expect from, say, the Napoleonic Brigade series from the gamers, but you basically have to declare an order for each unit. And we have some more player aids. I think the setup is handled by these things too. We have here our turn track. We have what look like 1-hour turns. There's also a significant amount of fog of war built into this game, which looks very interesting. And we have what I always like to see are really nice, rather reminiscent of Labatt setup cards. I've never played Labatt, by the way, but I've seen it set up, and I'm always like, ooh, Labatt, that's huge and really nice looking. So, great looking game. Super excited to have it. Would also like to have the Waterloo game. This came from Enterprise Games, which I've mentioned in a couple of the unboxings. They're out of Indianapolis or some other benighted place in Indiana, but they're great folks, and they have very fair prices, even for out-of-print stuff. So I recommend them. They do have a website. I'll put the website link in the notes below. Not a sponsor. I just really like Enterprise Games. So I did pick up some role-playing game stuff too, and you may have seen an unboxing for Traveler: The Great Rift. We're not going to go through that again. If you want to see the contents, go to the unboxing video. However, I'm running out of space here. That's not the only RPG product I bought, but Traveler is the only RPG I bought. Another thing I grabbed is the Pirates of Drenax. Now this is already dirty, damn it. This is not a box set, but a slipcase set comprised of 3 hardcovers and a poster map. And there's the poster map. This is on a little different stock than the maps in the Great Rift box set. These are pictures of these, and the PDF versions don't really do them justice. They're really nice. They got a really great, sort of texture to them. I'm very impressed with this as an RPG product. It is basically a whole campaign. The Pirates of Drenax is the campaign. The Trojan Reach is basically the player's book. And the Ships of the Reach are the book that contains all the different ships that you can shoot at as pirates. So the campaign looks really interesting. I actually have the opportunity to play it. So we'll see how that develops. I may do something content-wise on that. It's not terribly easy to get all this back in here. It's a gorgeous set, and I thought the price that Mongoose wanted for it. Mongoose wasn't there as Mongoose, but Studio 2 that does some of the printing and distribution was there. So on the subject of that, though, we also got, and I should have put these in the proper order before I started the video. I picked up the Traveler Core Rulebook. This is the current edition from Mongoose. This is the what we call Mongoose 2nd Edition Traveler. And it is a mild to light revision of the previous Mongoose Traveler rules, which I felt were very solid, but presentationally had some issues. This I have zero issues with at all. The rules changes are basically, they've made a couple of tweaks to character creation, and they've done a little bit of skill reorganization. That's basically it. Really nice book. Mongoose has just come such a long way in terms of layout and attractiveness of their products. I really like it. The binding feels okay. So this is the core book. I picked up, for no particularly good reason, the screen, which is really nice and is on that, like, the kind of modern trend in Game Master screens, which is to put it on basically mounted stock. I picked up the vehicle handbook, which is the vehicle system. So, interestingly, as I think I mentioned this in the Great Rift box set, the vehicle, like, combat stuff is in the core rulebook, but the vehicle design stuff, including starships, is not. So you need this vehicle handbook to do that. And of course, there's a huge selection of vehicles in the back as well, from, you know, little grav cars to walkers to tanks to whatever. So it's pretty much got the vehicle design rules and all of the various things you would want, various vehicles you would want. Central Supply Catalogs, another hardcover. This is the gear book, and it is not a super dense equipment catalog, but it's got plenty of stuff in it. And pretty much one of the, I don't want to say issues, but one of the quirks of Classic Traveler was that there was no, like, centralized place to find all the gear that you would potentially want. With Traveler 4, they did Central Supply Catalog and solved that issue, so they've kind of carried on from that. And then High Guard, which is the expanded Starship Combat plus Starship Creation, plus a huge section of starships in the back, with these sort of orthographic deck plans, or isometric. I keep wanting to call them orthographic for some reason. I don't know why. Even I should know better with my background. But they have deck plans in these things too, different variants of certain ships. So the Seeker, we just saw, there's the Far Trader, there's a Free Trader, there's, I think, at least one other Free Trader variant. Neat looking. So yes, I'm a big Traveler fan. Traveler is one of those role-playing games that, partially because it was early on, but for other reasons as well, has sort of a natural interface with wargaming. So when we talk about Traveler, we can also talk about the Traveler war games, which is not something that we are normally able to discuss with RPGs. So this is one that I have, 5th Frontier War from GDW. This is very old, and I managed to get my copy was unpunched. When I got it, I punched it because I want to play it. You can, like, run this as the background of your Traveler campaign. So without completely derailing the entire Origins wrap-up video, I didn't get a chance to play Traveler, but I did kind of prep myself for future playing and or running of Traveler. So Origins 2018 is is wrapped, and 2019 is next year. I will be there. If anybody has any questions about the con, feel free to ask. There were wargame publishers, and well, yeah, there were publishers there too. So Decision Games was there, Lock and Load Publishing was there, Flying Pig was there, Tiny Battles was there as part of Flying Pig, GMT was there as part of Enterprise Games. Lost Battalion Games was there. They do some war game type stuff. So there was war game shopping to do. There were war game events. It's not, you know, a major presence at Origins anymore, but it is there for those interested in wargaming. Anybody wants to talk about that, please say so in the comments. Please like the video if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.